Hey, because the intro isn't going to start. Yeah, the intro didn't start today. Welcome, everybody, back to our show. We are prepared to have at least 3 seconds because oh God, Cassie's people
Yep.
must be doing this to me. We now playing no Cassie's internet. I'm sorry, you guys. So, welcome back. Happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a good week. If it stormed where you were today in California, let me know down below. Now, I'm afraid we're going to have a daggone earthquake because it stormed for a little bit and then there was like thunder as well. I love that kind of weather, but kind of weird for 2 in the afternoon at the beginning of summer. But this is life. So prepare yourselves with your cars to have everything that you'll need for all different kind of weathers this year because it is cutting up. I'm going to have our co-host introduce herself and then we will get started. The topic for tonight is going to be on Young Miami, Carisha, because I want to know why she is catching such stray bullets when she has nothing to do with this. Go ahead, Rose.
Happy Tuesday. I keep every day I be forgetting what day it is. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And it didn't rain up here, but it looked like it was gonna rain. But you know
It
what
did.
it rained by my house, but I wasn't there yet. But where I work at in Phoenix, it looked like it was gonna rain. It was gray skies, but it did never rain. But they said it was raining in the past and everything, so it still looked like it's
Yeah,
gonna rain.
it was raining bad. We even got that, when your phone goes off because you get a
Mm-hmm.
warning. That even happened like a couple separate times. So I mean, everybody be careful for real because it really just started storming like out of nowhere and it was really dark. You could barely even see. So for tonight, I'll start with the opening video, which led me to do this topic, aside from the fact that I really don't understand how she's catching stray bullets. But this is what one person said and kind of called Cassie the whistleblower. And it tied back into my initial belief and thought when this all first started is that it was because of jealousy of Precious. So let's get started. Here you go. We're not about to play with StreamYard today. Let's see. Hold on, you guys. It's not me this time, I swear. I wonder if it's because of the storm. Here we go.
Yo, Young Miami, I think you dealing with Diddy was the ultimate whistleblower. You fucked up his whole shit. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because it could be a good thing if he's guilty. When Diddy started dealing with you, because you a chick that it looked like you one of them feisty chicks and Diddy couldn't handle you like he handled Cassie, Gina, Kim Porter, the rest of them, the other women who been through it, they took note and they felt away. They saw you back talk. They saw you do all the things that Diddy used to slap them square in the mouth for. They didn't like that shit. Then he seen him have a kid with another woman. And it emboldened them to not only file lawsuits, but it emboldened them to speak to the police. So to keep it real, if y'all wondering why Diddy in jail, y'all could thank Carisha. She's the one that showed people that Diddy only treat whoever he feels he could treat like that. Because when he get a bitch who ain't going for it, like Carisha wasn't going, like she going for the P. Because Carisha's a nasty bitch. You probably could shit on her chest. You could tell he couldn't give her no fucking black eye. This a bitch, she from Florida. She might pull out a fucking gun and shoot you. I've had ex-girlfriends call me expressing dismay. They said, are you good? Everything cool with you? They said, well, when you was with me, you didn't do A, B, and C, and you didn't tolerate X, Y, and Z. I'm looking up now, and it looked like, you good? You letting this shit fly? And really, it's less of their concern about me. It's more of them saying, nigga, why the fuck you ain't do this when I was with you?
I do not like.
What do you think?
I don't like him.
I didn't ask
I
you if you like
never.
him. I asked you what you think about
Look,
what he said.
I just have to make that clear. I just don't like him, and I don't feel like that has anything to do with anything. And
Okay, fine.
even if she is the reason why, then it needed to come out. Like, he's stupid as fuck.
So you don't like how he positioned it. You don't like that he said you can blame her. She's the one who made it come out.
Yeah, I don't like that he said that because I don't think that that's true.
Correct. He did say that wrong. I don't agree with that as well. Do I believe that's the reason why it happened? Yes. Do I think that him saying y'all could blame her? If he did what he did, like you said at the beginning, she deserved to be set down. But I've been researching what trolling is. So trolling is when you say stuff like that so that people will respond and you'll get traction on your post. I thought trolling was in the comments doing certain stuff. I didn't know that that is what trolling is
Both
called.
ways, yeah.
Yeah, it's called
does
in
that
media
all-
now
and
because
he does
when,
that all the time. He does, especially with
but he
Carisha. He do
should,
that all the time.
but he should, and I'm going to start. Mhm. That's how you build up your social media platform, because it's very interesting that he said exactly how he felt in the beginning. I've been studying that. So anyway, back to this though. Um, about the first half, I agree 100% with what he said. I like that he also gave an example because that is true. I've heard females say the why her or why not me type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it does exist, and he's right. It wasn't is he okay, it was why her. And people do think that, well, not even people, women mostly do think that. And there are some men these days too, with being able to see more. You kind of wonder how somebody else was able to pull something out of you that another person wasn't, that may have loved you and really tried and it just didn't work. But those are actually regular questions. Do I believe that's what led to the lawsuit and the rage? I do.
I think
Mostly.
that men just treat certain women different. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's something.
that's for
Yeah, I
sure.
think that they treat certain women different, and he just didn't treat Carisha the way he treated everybody else. Like, maybe he had grown. Now we know he was still doing some of the other stuff that he was doing as far as drug wise, but as far as probably beating on women and all that, and who's to say that he didn't do nothing to Carisha, because he was cashing Carisha out. Like, she still was getting all the benefits that Cassie was getting, but we still don't know what happened behind closed doors. So that's
Well,
just
we can
like,
go based on what she said. So in this, when she responded to being asked what happened, she actually said that she didn't have any of those issues that others had, and she felt bad that other people did. She addressed that we got together as a business type thing, and then it led to more. And if that's her story, that's her story. I mean, if he put his hands on her, I'm pretty sure she would have said something. Or if she doesn't, that's her story to tell or not tell. But as far as that, she did respond, and that was her response, that she did not endure any of those things. Did she endure the Diddy that stayed up all night, wanted to do it all night, was
and I still
what
think
do they
she's
call it? Hyper
yeah, I
something.
still think she endured that. It was just that it's at a different level.
But she said it. It's not even a thing. She actually said it. She said that I think one of the questions in one of her interview, I'm going to show that one tomorrow when I do the lunchtime, when she actually, that's why I'm like, it's really not okay. Hey, cousin, it's really not, it's really frustrating to me because people have questions, the person answers the question, and then we tell them what they meant by their answer. Why don't we just take what they say and leave it and at least analyze that part? But why do you want to put your own flavor onto something when the person actually answered it? And if they don't answer it, you will talk about them because they didn't answer it. It's very interesting and weird, but I think that's really interesting how that happens. Here was her actual response, Carisha's actual response on her own show, Carisha Please, when she decided to have her friend Santana interview her and ask specific questions.
Oh yeah.
3 things before we get started, because my questions are specific because we have a couple of things to get through. One, anybody with common sense would have their own best friend or somebody that they trust to ask the questions so that it goes the way that they want it to go. Point blank, period. Her answers are her answers. If you don't believe them, that happens too. People put their own things that they have been through into a different situation. They've done it with Cassie. They're going to do it with everybody. But I just find it very strange that so many people are against everything she's doing. And I think that's really unfair. She actually separated herself from this man when something started, but everybody's asking, well, why did Cassie go back? Why did Cassie go back? And then this one didn't go back and stayed away, and she's still being attacked. So I feel like either way, the person, to me, a woman is still going to be attacked, and that's where it's not fair. It really doesn't make any sense. But this is what she said. Oh God, I'm itching so bad. Y'all probably want me to know where that is, huh? It's right here.
Are you still dating Puff Daddy? I'm not. I said I was gonna tell my truth. I think that it really, really, really hurt me because I just feel like, Puff was a really, really good person to me. I feel like he came and he helped me and, he elevated me and he saw a lot of things in me. And I feel like that's like one of his specialties. Like he know how to like find people and, identify their talent. And he was able to see more than music in me. When all these things came out, I just needed to take a break and focus on what's important. It was just me and my career and my family, and just let him navigate and figure it out on his own because I can't get caught up in that.
So my question is, now that we have seen several interviews and several people have given that man the same accolades, why when she gave him the accolades did people attack her? That's my only question. Why when she gave him accolades did people attack her, but now people on the stand is literally saying the same thing? Why do you think that is?
Probably because she was the last one to deal with him. I don't know. I really don't understand that either. I guess because she's the last one to deal with him. Who knows? I don't know.
It could be. At first I was thinking, is it because she's the one who got the most out of him? But then when we heard about the assistant that was getting paid $100K a week, he was getting turned up too, and then, some of the other ones, he paid for all of my expenses. So whatever salary that these people did get, it was really their own salary because medical, everything.
They lived with him. They didn't have to live nowhere. And the one that he did, the Capricorn, she still had her own apartment that he paid for. He paid for her apartment, her cell phone, like everything. They didn't have to do anything. So, but Carisha, she still got cashed out. I mean, just think she got, I don't know. Maybe
she got what she worked for. I think that
because it was
here's the thing.
It was an even exchange to me with her and him.
Right.
It wasn't like one person like how the other women was just living off of him.
He needed her too.
He needed her too. If it wasn't for her, his Deleon wouldn't have went off the way it did to the younger generation.
Right.
And with him in return, he gave her a podcast and everything.
Right.
So an exchange.
But just think, you said the perfect thing. Even exchange. Just think, each one that has been on the trial, you guys, now thus far, each one had something that they wanted, right? The one girl was supposed to do a show. Cassie had her music. The assistant, one of the assistants was put up to director and then this and started working on bigger things, but he would take it back as he wanted to, never truly putting them in the front. Cassie's is a little bit different because he did give her opportunities to go and make music. And instead of going to make music, she was out there doing more sexual things that had nothing to do with Diddy. So how we don't see that this girl was hypersexual on her own, it's not fair. Irregardless, I know that's not a word. I like to say it. Irregardless, Young Miami was smarter. She did things that put her in the front, but she probably was like, she also wasn't in a need position too. Nope. She was in a want position and got to finagle and do what she needed to do. And she was the hottest thing coming up already. So him getting with her, they needed something from each other. She had her own things in the front because regardless to if he put her on a podcast, there's plenty of famous people that have podcasts that don't go well. Hers went well because she also had her own connections and brought them in. It's a little bit different. So do I believe that she did not go through those same things? I do, because she has different connections. She has different things that imagine her godmother is Trina. Imagine if Trina would have saw the same things the assistant seated that happened to Cassie, and they just stood there. Like the time he called Cassie in, and Lauren London was in there, and and the assistant, I believe, and was like, "You bees will never have nobody," and basically did the Coming to America, bark like a dog, blah blah blah, and she did it, and then exited the room. Imagine Trina being in the room and that happened to this girl. Number one, this girl is going to be like, I'm going home, because several times she would leave and go home. She wasn't up under him. She was okay on her own, which I believe attracted him as well. Just think it's interesting how all of those things were said. And even though we're hearing testimonies that align with what she's saying, people still want to throw her under the bus. This was Armon's first response to throwing back Young Miami in the fold. He then had a second response after somebody else said something. Influence is a big deal, y'all. Watch.
Young Miami is a goer, in my opinion. I think Young Miami is a goer. She's a turn me up, and she's very much so, you know, I want to remain famous. I want to be famous. I want money. I'm a hood chick from the ghetto. And at the end of the day, anything that makes me appear and feel better than the next person or gets me out of the gutters, then absolutely I'm going for it. And she's freaky. She went on her podcast, said that, you know, she was getting pissed on. She tries to roll that back. We know she's a liar. That's not true. We know she was getting pissed on. Diddy is, first of all, let's be clear here with the Young Miami piece. I don't believe nothing that she say at this point, because, girl, there's no way that you're with Diddy, and literally not even a year ago, in September, Diddy got arrested and they found 10 bottles of baby oil, hard drives, Astroglide, pink powder, cocaine, you know, ketamine, MDA. I don't know how you say, because I don't do that. So they had all of that. Diddy had that on his person, and $9,000 and was paying for escort still. So Young Miami, please be freaking for real. You was with it.
Here is what I will say. It's very clear he does not like her. That's number one. That's why his opinion, Armon is plenty of shit, but that's why his opinion is what it is. But number two, how many people have been with somebody and found something out years later that you knew nothing about? It doesn't matter if you with him. It doesn't matter what that man had on him. What does that have to do with her? Were they in the room together and that was found? Because how do you know? I don't even go, listen.
Well, they did say that when she would travel and like he had sent for her, she would have that stuff with her.
She might have liked it too.
Yeah, that's why I said I believe. That's why I said it was certain stuff I know that she still did that he was doing with him. But yeah.
But none of that is illegal. All of that is fine. You know what I mean? We don't. Well,
I don't think
tells me she don't do this stuff, and I believe her. You don't know what somebody else do.
I think traveling with it on the jets and stuff is illegal. They were saying.
Oh, you mean the
pink stuff?
Yes.
Whatever.
So I did hear that. Do I believe that? I do. She's not. First of all, she's not from the ghetto. The ghetto and the hood is two different things. That girl was wearing $700 purses and 30-inch butch downs in high school. So she wasn't, again, she didn't have a need. She wasn't coming from nothing, which, by the way, stick a pin right here, parents. Do you see the difference in the behavior of one and another one? Because if you don't come from a space, I believe being raised in the hood is a blessing. I'm sorry, but I do. Not the ghetto, the hood. Pomona is the hood, not the ghetto. Because you have the best of both worlds. You don't reach for straws. You okay with eating noodles. You don't really eat noodles. You okay with having full meals as long as your needs are met and you're happy. That's more important. You're more likely to say no to certain things. You've experienced certain things. I believe that it's a benefit to it because we have two different people. Actually, not even two, because it's a plethora of people on that side to assistance that did what this man said. And there's one girl over here. It's only one. No, actually, it's three. It's Kim, it's J-Lo, and it's her that had no problem walking away. But it's crazy how things are so different. This man has this opinion of her but he's the same one that talks very different when it has something to do with Cassie. Very, very different. Until this was at the beginning, before he heard this girl say all of these things and people say other things as well. And then he heard this person. Hold on. Hold on. This one.
I seen Cassie in Vegas when she told me that this was about to occur with her husband. You know, I don't feel like this is a sex trafficking RICO case. I feel like this is a toxic polygamy relationship type of case. And I feel like once Diddy started doing that situation with Young Miami, it started going a little, it became envious. I felt like Cassie looked at that situation and got envious and said, you know what? He's doing for her more than what he's ever done for me in 11 years. I want my get back. And I feel like that's what this is.
But your get back after you already married?
To somebody who's broke? Yes. Absolutely. I believe personally that her husband spearheaded all of this. I do. I believe it was that. It's nothing. If you want me to believe something different, I'm not talking to Rose, y'all. I'm talking to everybody. If somebody wants me to believe something different, then I need to see the proof. Because I don't. Because here's the thing. In the proof, what we've heard out of this own girl's mouth, when you was with your husband, he was not the husband then. They were together. You were still messing with this man. You still was on the stand acting like you still admired this man. You still said you don't hate this man. You still said all of these things. In my heart, I believe if that man were to get off and call her and say, I'm clean now. I'm glad this happened. Now I'm free of drugs. I want a fresh start. And I realized it was you all along. I want us to be amazing. Give him that money. Give your man that money. Bring the kids with me and we can lead this amazing life. I believe she would say yes.
I believe she would too, but I believe she would too, just because everything that I've seen, but I don't think that he looks at her like that.
What do you mean? Looks at her like what?
Like,
oh no, he does it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know why Cassie would even, but I think that she would too. I think that she would too.
I think that she would. And the reason why I believe that this started because of Young Miami is because not as it's Young Miami's fault, but it just brought everything to the front. Just think, if you the last person that was with this man, you did spend all of these years with that man. You went through so much trauma, so much ups and downs, and then you sit back and now you're sober mind as well, and you looking at how everything went. And at the end of the day, you had a plethora of people that you could have been with. Your response to one question was, how can I leave Diddy and Jay-Z is already taken? And you end up with a personal trainer with no job back in your mama's house, but you're watching this other girl do all of this stuff. Plus Gina is actually still there getting some stuff.
I was just about to say, if anything brought something to the forefront, well, no, because Gina been saying this and she went on Tasha K. I don't know. Maybe I feel like it wasn't nothing to do with Carisha or nothing. I think Diddy pissed somebody up in the higher ups. To me,
either way she went along with it is the point. That's that's a separate conspiracy theory. As it relates to Cassie, though, I do believe, and you don't believe that, but I believe by seeing other people live out what you wanted, you did that. I believe that second assistant, the one who's up on the stand talking now, Mia, I believe she wanted Cassie's life. So I believe the assistants wanted Cassie's life, and Cassie wanted Kim's life.
They supposed to be friends.
Exactly. But you steady telling him you love him 3 years later and all of that. I believe that jealousy and envy all in this space is what it was. And I believe the husband told her, with all the stuff you've been through and all the information you know and all the records you've kept all this time, we could get X amount of dollars. Because Mia also sued Diddy back in the day for 10 million, but she didn't include any of this stuff now. And she's gonna say, I feel like I can do it now because of Cassie. Again, it takes for one person for you to see one person, either bad or good, and your brain does shift that way. I'm not saying Cassie is wrong for that being what prompted her to do it. But what I'm saying is that's definitely what prompted you to do it. Because if that window was still open and you was not seeing this man out here live what looks like his best life, smiling with this girl, she on platform standing next to him, smiling, having fun, y'all kissing, y'all making videos, y'all doing all kind of stuff together, looking like the amazing couple. And this girl is talking to you however she wants to, and she is. She's not being disrespectful, but she's responding. You laughing and joking with her. You don't see her have to wear no swoop. You don't see anything happening to this girl other than she getting stuff after stuff, winning awards. She's straight. Her kids are straight. That's enough to make anybody go. I don't think she's wrong. That's enough to make anybody's head pop off.
Yeah, it would
That's
make
hard.
you think.
That's
But
sad.
I still think that it would make you feel a way. But I think that if I was married and I was truly happy, I wouldn't give a fuck. You might
But
have
you're
it in the
not
back of
truly
your
happy.
mind.
She not truly happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
If
think
you
she's
was in the
truly
back,
happy.
you might be in the back of your mind seeing because everything, and then you got to think social media.
Oh, wait, real quick. So you thinking like a Tina Turner who walked away and was like, I don't want nothing but my name because she truly wanted to walk away and she was happy in walking away. You saying that would be you.
Mm-hmm. If you
Me
was
too, I
really
think.
happy and you with a man that truly loves you,
Right.
supposedly you with a man that truly loves you, that ain't gonna never put his hands on you or nothing, but you see your ex with somebody else and that girl is living a good life, the same life you probably lived. It
Right.
was just she got a little bit more, and you jealous of that. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, you should be happy that you ain't in that predicament no more. Like, ain't nothing worth you getting your ass whooped every single day.
So here's what I could just think about this though. Here's the sad part. When they first got together, up until recently, she did rehab. Remember, she was still on
Yeah,
stuff and
she got with
everything.
him. Yeah, she still had to be. That's why,
Right.
and I felt like, I told you I felt like that husband was selfish. Like, why would
Thank
you
you.
even get
So now
her?
you now come to the
No,
other
I've been
side,
said
bro.
that I
If
felt
you're
like the
allowing this to happen,
yeah.
meaning she's still staying in a part of that life, what kind of husband are you not to help her heal to get to that space where she's happy with you? Even if y'all in a 1-bedroom apartment, she's happy with you.
Yeah, because
You fed
she
that
should have never
space.
had kids or nothing until she was all the way
No,
healed.
exactly. No, he fed that space. He kept her sick and he fed that space. He fed that space because that does not make any sense. You were okay with her still feeling like that and still doing those things. Truth be told, I think you was okay with her still sleeping with him and telling her to do certain things because it's still, who's to say Diddy wasn't still doing stuff for her? You never know. I think
He probably was.
he did that to her. It's no way you can make me believe any different. And if that girl try to leave him, we will know for sure, and it will seal the deal. If he try to take half, we will know for sure, and it will seal the deal because we know of people right now going through lawsuits, and people is mad as hell. Why are you mad? Y'all a mess. So now look at what Armon had to say after listening to the court cases, because he's up front and center, and then he comes back and brings us the information, and that it'd be so funny. If you want to see something funny, watch him. I'm trying to tell you, he's so animated. Ain't he animated? He
Today
do
is his
like each
birthday. Today is
person
his
is.
birthday. So happy birthday, Armon.
Oh yeah, it is. Happy birthday! Somebody try to mess with him today at court. Leave him alone.
I
He
know I
coming
see
up.
it. Funny.
I was like, dang, it's his birthday. Leave him alone. Here we go.
Another reason, now that we know all the facts about Diddy, why would he be with Young Miami? What reason would Diddy have to be with Young Miami? Now that we know the things about Diddy. Because everybody ain't going. And it's not a problem, but just be clear. Everybody's not going. She going. It's no shade. You don't play like that if you're not going. I don't know if she's doing the drugs and stuff, but she's definitely freaking off. Now I don't know if Diddy's as violent as I don't think he was hitting her and stuff, but I think that she was going for it and she was getting the money. She was with the freak offs and stuff too. And I think that Cassie kind of got to a point where she was like, well, what about me? So I think that guy made a very valid point. Perhaps seeing Young Miami get everything that Cassie wanted kind of did push her over the edge a little bit, right? On top of the fact, Cassie was so jealous of Gina and Kim Porter. And here's the thing, and I'm trying to figure out, because a lot of people were saying, like, what was Cassie's infatuation with Kim Porter and Gina? But like, it seemed like she was jealous of Kim, but she hated Gina. And I don't know if she felt like she saw Gina more in her because she was younger. Gina is like racially ambiguous or Asian or whatever the case may be. So that was like direct competition. Perhaps Cassie, she knew that she couldn't really compete with Kim because she got 3 kids. He got 3 kids by Kim, and she's older. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's his actual baby mama. Like, it is what it is. But maybe Cassie was like, I want to be the baby mom. But Kim Porter gave me, she wasn't going for that. You know what I'm saying? She gave me that she was not getting into all that stuff with.
I think it's so strange that most of our opinions, when we form them, they're based on what the people said. I think it's interesting that when people look at a situation, they see it from the perspective of another person having to say it. And then it's like, oh, I see it. How you didn't see it at the beginning? Maybe it's my career. Maybe it's because that's a part of my career is to pay attention to people and be investigative and stuff like that. Do you think that's why? Why do you think I see certain stuff different?
That's just the way your brain works. Just like me, I can see both sides on people a lot of times. Like, I can see both sides. Some people ain't like that. They just see one side and that's it. But I can be like,
That's
crazy.
But
I'll be like,
here's the thing. You're supposed to see both sides because you have been in a management position. You lead people, you work with kids. How can you not see both sides? Because even if both sides can be completely wrong, both sides can be completely right. One can be completely wrong and one can be completely right. But how do you know how to properly help? Because it's not about figuring out who's wrong. It's about figuring out who to help. So I don't know why people say that, because even if you found out me and Alondra saying something and you like, no, Asia, you wrong, let me help you fix that. You do it like this, that helps the person to grow. It's not even about getting on that person for being wrong. It's about being able to have empathy and understand how to move them forward. But so many people are afraid of the way people talk to them now, because you could give your opinion in the comments and people, the new one is, are you dumb? Are you okay? Stuff like that. And it's like, even if they are completely wrong, did you have to call them dumb?
Right.
Like, why couldn't it be a
That's why a lot
conversation?
of stuff I won't, if it's stuff like that, I won't even comment on it because I'm like,
I've been passing by too, bro. It's draining my energy.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. Now, it have been some stuff that I will argue a person down to the ground on, but lately I have been doing really good with myself. If I see it and I know that I'll be ready to cuss him out, I just keep on scrolling. Like, it's not worth it, Rashonda, today.
Right. I just be like, this person is baiting people. They don't have nothing to do today, and they just want to go back and forth. And I have started doing. If I respond, I switch. So I started responding to only the people I agree with. Then when I respond, for whatever reason, the person could have said something, I agree with them, and people will start talking to me. And I'm like,
because people read, people like me, I'll read the comment of the person that said some stupid mess, but then I'll read the comments under there to see who else said something too. So that's just what people do, and they comment on everybody. You, the person up there, and then everybody under there too.
It's that's crazy. They only respond to me. I'll be looking because I'll be like, okay, did you go through and this is the conversation you want to be a part of? Because I've done that and respond to a couple people, but I'm literally responding to the person at the top. To me, let me teach y'all a lesson. Okay, you ready? This is the lesson because communications, I'm figuring out some people just don't have these skill sets and they getting
Yeah.
involved in creating these online businesses. And you've taken, it wasn't either taught in your home, you didn't take any classes for this, and you've not even researched it to learn. Let me teach you appropriate protocol. If somebody responds to the person at the top, that means they are the head of that conversation. If you're responding to them, if you have something mean to say, you probably should respond to the person at the top. Because if the person is agreeing with the person at the top, that means all these people agree. If you disagree with the person at the top. If you want to disagree or go or have a open communication with somebody you don't agree with that's in there, you need to speak to them respectfully because their opinion matters and you may have a different one. Offer your opinion is not the same as when somebody says, "Are you dumb? That's wrong." You can never tell somebody their opinion is wrong. You just can't. Might you be like, now what I will say when I respond, I'd be like, "That's an interesting point of view." To me, I already know that means I think it's something wrong with you because that's crazy. But you don't say that because you haven't had the conversation even to understand where they're coming from.
Right.
And a lot of people with this kind of stuff, have you noticed that unfortunately and fortunately, because his feet needs to be held to the fire, people are responding in a way that you can tell that they've been through something and they want this to go down for everything that's been done to them because their responses have nothing to do with what's been said.
Or
If
they
you
just been biased from the beginning. Like they just, no matter what the defense say or anything, they just like, nah, like he. So like us, well, I'll say me. I feel like Diddy is the devil. And I've been saying that for a long ass
he
time.
definitely has demons.
Yeah, like he is the devil. But do I feel like he should go to jail for this? No, because it's a DV case. I
Because
feel
you're
like
a fair person.
yeah, I feel like he should go to jail for a lot of other things and be in jail for the rest of his life, but not this. So that's what I'm saying. I cannot like a person and still feel like he don't need to go to jail.
It's
Even
not
his
right.
own enemy, Suge Knight, said it.
Here's the thing, and this is what's confusing some of us to wrap that piece up. After hearing the prosecution, what has been brought forward, maybe after week one, a lot of us who are either formally educated in law, know about the law, pay attention, have common sense, whatever you want to call it, we all step back like, it's so many things that could have been said because we've
Right.
been hearing a million things over the last year. Why wouldn't you say those things? Because this case don't even need to last 2 seconds, according to what y'all say that you have, that you can prove X, Y, and Z. So all of us looking like, oh, you playing a game. Because here's the other part. Part two of that is you either know a black man, have seen a black man on TV in a real and true story that gets out 60 years later from something they didn't do, but it was something they should have been in trouble for what they did do, right? Or they didn't do anything at all. And in that, you can immediately see your family member, what it will look like for black men going forward, all of these things. So it immediately makes you retract and say, if I allow my emotions to take over this because I believe that this is a horrible man, it's still not fair what he would be in trouble for. So what if that's my person up there and they don't like my person to that degree? And I would have sat on a jury and said it like that. And now I want a jury to be fair for me. It makes you watch your words because you believe your words have power. So it's those two things that's making people look at this shit like, why aren't you going in for the real things? You say you got them. We have the alleys that's been on the internet. You got Gene who's out here. He money grabbing too because he on every platform that I have his butt and pay him. You have all of these people that could be a real Rico because they out here boasting about the stuff they doing damn near. Yeah, I did this, but it got to be too much and I left. But you did this first, right? Because let me tell you, I have a sister who took her boyfriend to the cell phone shop. He comes out running and says, drive. She drives. Now my sister got in trouble. But you mean to tell me all of these people, see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. People
Because
can take it from their personal perspective.
they only want him because everybody that the government has subpoenaed, they're giving them immunity. Every single person, because every single person that they called up there will have to go to jail with him too.
So, Ro, I have another question. Okay. Again, people catching stray bullets and things being different for certain people. Didn't Little Kim go to jail for getting on the stand and lying?
Mm-hmm.
So if Kid Cudi just got on the stage and told a bold-faced lie, why isn't it the same for him? He had immunity to tell the truth. He didn't, and he told a lie. These are the kind of different things that people is looking at saying, what is your true motive for this man? Because if your true motive for this man was these things, you actually had the proof if you just took 2 or 3 people with him that should have gone with him.
But
They're guilty too.
remember they said everything like with Kid Cudi. Oh, when people had traumatic things happen in their lives, sometimes they forget.
Bro, you don't remember a whole high-speed chase though?
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know why he didn't remember that. But remember when the lady came on there, this is what she said.
Here's the thing though. This is why they want that taken out. Everybody pay attention. That lady said those things in general terms. So imagine if your child comes home after listening to that shit and they apply that shit to the rest of their life for all the horrible things that they do. Are they still going to get their ass whooped? Are they still going to be on punishment? Because you look at your child.
I'm going to whoop you until your ass remember.
Because you know your child too.
Mm-hmm.
She has not spent time with any of these people to take a look at if that actually applies to them. And that's why the girl Mia is getting on everybody's nerves. I hope this girl didn't really go through all of these things, because based on the way she's not doing good on the stand. And you know, y'all, we could only hear somebody read the transcripts or read the transcripts for ourselves. But for me, body language is important. Being there is really important.
Being timid and holding her head down and stuff like that is making it everybody feel sad for her, because I'm not even gonna lie. The first day that she testified, I felt sorry for her. And then the second day I was like,
it was some holes in there. But here's the thing as well, not the but, the and. Oftentimes, unfortunate, y'all, first we got to think about this. She's talked to Cassie. She's admitted talking to Cassie in great length. And then she turns around and says, but we didn't talk about the case.
The case. Like, I don't believe that. If that's your close friends, that's going to be the first
thing. No damn way. Because you first called her to check on her to see if she was okay from the case.
Right, after the case. Exactly.
It's a complete lie. It's a lie. Then let's not forget that she heard everything up to this point that prepared her to go up there. We know this because here's the thing, y'all. As a professional, as a parent, you parents should be able to pull a lot of this shit out, because we as kids, a lot of our parents, a lot of times they can clock stuff because they know us and they know that they pick something up from somewhere, right? When we come home and get in trouble, what's the first thing you say? Oh, you must be hanging around that kid at school. Y'all are very smart. Use that skill set now. She's using words, trigger words that tie back to what that lady said. These are not words that you would use in your everyday vocabulary.
I think that lady,
she heard the case.
Yeah, like they said, they talked to her. She talked to them more than once. She was getting paid $600 an hour. Of course, she's going to tell them what to say.
She told them, because here's the thing, y'all. The one thing that I was looking for her to talk about, remember when we talked about Allie and y'all got pissed off at me because I told y'all the truth? It was holes in her story. But I also told you there is a condition that comes with the holes in the story that make you plug in other things, even if you've seen a movie, if you've heard another story. And Allie admitted to having that. All of us have it. Actually, you don't remember certain things, and a whiff of perfume might go by you, and all of a sudden you remember what actually happened. So your story can fluctuate. The fact that she didn't bring that up and say that some of these people could have various stories. She only brought up the things that made victim, 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 but not also what a habitual liar could do. Also what somebody could do that's trying to get you back because they become angry, or what jealousy looks like. She didn't talk about any of that. Why didn't she talk about any of that? At least try to make it look fair a little bit. Do y'all know it's a bunch of conditions out there? Every one of these women have a codependency on this man. You took me out of the life that I had, especially the one who had a child who she said has conditions. So the medical insurance was really necessary and all of that. that could play a big role as well, because once you lose your job, you don't have that same medical benefits. What if Diddy was legit making sure that her son was okay? Then to me, the reason why she went through certain things, for me, Trump, Cassie more. Hers makes perfect sense if your son has these things. But why is everybody having more compassion for one over the other? Why isn't it across the board? And why are you throwing in extra people? But nobody wants to hold Cassie accountable. And holding her accountable, do y'all know what accountability means? It doesn't even mean she's wrong.
They
It
pick and
means,
choose. They pick and choose when they want to make people happy.
why do you think people are picking and choosing even after she got up there, Ro, and admitted to so many things?
I think the reason why is because of that video. I swear
I think that video,
it's the video. If that video would have never came out and she did this lawsuit, people would have still been doubting her. But to see that video, that's just been like, it make you look at it like, okay, if she got beat up like that and they at a hotel,
and you just caught that one time.
Yeah, you know what was going on behind closed doors. But that don't go with, to me, sex trafficking and everything. Like they just gun hold on that video, which that video was horrible to watch. Like
it hurts the pit of your stomach.
Yes, like
this is not a movie, y'all. This
is real life. And so they see that and they like, no, he needs to go to jail forever. So they're not going off the facts or anything else that you're hearing in the court of her doing everything else that she's doing, and her saying that she wanted to do the F-offs and all that stuff. But then since she just said that because she knew she could spend time with him, like they still know what to say. But I think it's because of that video, and all of us hate that video so much.
Like to the pit of your stomach. See, that's where you know that there is something wrong, right? But there are regular people that go through this too. Mm-hmm. How can we use this to make it so that she becomes a poster child or an advocate for showing these are the things that I did, and this is what I don't want you to do, and we rally around it, but with reality, right? You did like a kid would do. That's the only fastest way I can explain how this relates in an adult world. A kid that's not getting enough attention won't do amazing things so that you pay attention. They'll do bad things, because 9 times out of 10, the reason why they're not getting attention is because of something negative. If you have 2 children and one is misbehaving and one behaves, you pay far more attention to the one that misbehaves, leaving the one that does not misbehave wanting attention. Then they start misbehaving. You did that because you knew that it would get the attention the way that you would want it. It's only for you. And that is just horrible. I don't know what that's like. I don't know if you would have did that if you were not on some type of drug. Maybe that made it so that it didn't hurt us. I don't know, but I know for sure you did that. Why would you keep triggering a situation? I guess that's my question for anybody in domestic violence. When you know that they're going to do certain things, if you do a certain thing, doesn't it stick in your head to not, or doesn't it, don't you think I don't want to do this because I don't want to make the person mad if you're going to stay with him? I don't know. That's one of my questions.
That's why I be saying that's why I said I want to talk to somebody, because
tomorrow.
I don't understand. Like my mind, I can't understand it.
I don't understand.
Else explaining it, maybe it could help me understand it a little bit, because she knew what things would trigger him and stuff. But it's like, it was like they said, when the highs was highs, it was highs. When the lows was low, it was real low. So
and for those people that don't have empathy, I'm about analogies in real life, right? I've talked before about a job that literally had me on Xanax by the time I was done with that job. I didn't quit that job. I was laid off from that job. Everything in me should have quit that job 2 years prior than I was laid off, and I didn't. I was doing my boss's homework. My boss insulted me about having an education because she didn't. My boss made me do her homework. My boss made me give her, I would have to be on her calls to be chatting her the answer while somebody was asking her a question. Instead of me just going ahead and answering a question, I had to give her the answers. My boss called me in her office one day and insulted me to hell and back, talking about slavery, women on welfare. Oh, but not you. You're one of the good Black people. I was given a promotion, but I was not given a pay raise or anything. I was given a promotion and they kept my pay raise. This could have been a bigger deal. If you could have went for the enterprises, because bosses, there are some that act just like him or even worse. And this could have been a big wake up call, a big platform. If you wanted to take this man down for the demons that he possesses, you could have very well done that. And it's so frustrating because it's like thinking, oh, this is about to happen. Good, this is going to happen. What really happened? People got to get up there and tell their story and hope that this man don't get out and do whatever he want to do, or blackball them, or hope that other organizations will work with them now that they've come forward and said something when they had every right to say something. What did you actually do to help? What actually came from this? That is so frustrating. I don't understand. And then did you hear that they're also like, the jurors are making noises, making eye contact with one another and stuff like that? This shit is a circus. If I was up there being prosecuted, I would be like, this is not happening in my face. This is not happening. How is this happening in court? It's bad enough that the whole motherfucker is filled up. Y'all got an overflow room. The transcripts go out same day. Like, how is this fair to me? I just don't understand. Y'all could have took that man down for something that he actually did. What y'all are doing is humiliating this man. You allowing people to tell stories that have nothing. Hey, bro, don't judges normally say if something don't have, what do they say when it don't have anything to do with the case, or they be like, that's hearsay, stuff like that. They ain't said none of that this time. And this shit I don't care what you do at your lifestyle party. If that's the case, cancel every lifestyle party. Take down all the websites.
That's why I didn't understand that either. I was like, well, if they get in, they calling that sex trafficking for somebody being flew in to have consensual sex, how do people get away with it in the porn business? Because it's the same exact thing.
Yeah, you get paid.
And they said because they signed a contract.
I thought trafficking is against your will.
I thought it was too, but I guess it's not. That's why I said this. It almost makes me want to go to law school, because I thought it was against your will too. Sex trafficking is against your will, something you don't want to do, not something that you know you're going to about to get paid a lot of money for, and then get mad when they don't call you back.
Yeah, this shit is crazy.
I think I really think that they trying to make like, okay,
he definitely pissed somebody off, because how come all the other civil suits you pay them, they go away? This civil suit, they took it and did something with it, but not other civil suits. How does that work? And then of the civil suit, they picked and chose the stuff they wanted to do. There was something in there about somebody who was unalived. How did you not pick that out? But you picked out a car getting messed up, but you didn't pick out the part about somebody being unalived.
Girl, that's what I said. He made somebody making a thing out of him, like to show y'all. So if y'all don't stay in line, this could be you too. If it happened to Diddy, it can happen to any of you guys.
And that's my
the top of the totem pole with right there. It ain't too many Black billionaire men.
Here's the sad thing. Do anybody not think of, now these people are completely innocent. I know that, but the point is, it happened to them. This man is actually completely innocent of the things they're talking about, because you didn't bring in the evidence for that. Do all of us believe in our heart and soul that every charge, that most of us believe that the charges brought against him, that they should stick? Yes, we do. Why do we believe that? Because people is all across YouTube, CNN, everybody that will listen. Tasha K. Where's Gina? What about her? He kicked her.
She's coming this week.
Okay, I'm like, she had an infant inside her. Why wasn't she first? If he
She'll
did
be
that
on
to
there
her, she had an
and
infant.
but
How did she not trump everything?
she gonna be the next Jane Doe this week.
Okay, because don't you think that's unaliving? That don't have a statute of limitation, does? I mean,
Girl, I don't know. With the way this thing is going, I don't know. I think that they making their own rules as it go. I don't know.
they
But
have to be because.
Gina's about to say the same exact thing that everybody else was saying. She probably
But what they should focus on more with her is the unaliving of her infant.
Yep.
Or no,
And that's if she
fetus.
fetus. If she
Yeah.
fetus. That's if she says that.
But she said it on Natasha K show.
Yeah, she did say it on there, but I think she would still have to say that's it. Well,
okay, that was going to be my next question. I'm sorry. This is my next question for you. Okay, out of all the videos that they could have played, they claim they got all of these tapes from this man's house, right? And they claim on these tapes it had lists of people. We was going to be shocked, all of this. Please tell me why you only played the tape that was already accessible in public, but you did not play any tape that came from this man's house that supposedly has stuff that he did. You didn't play a tape of an interview where the person directly said something, because that's not hearsay. They're saying it directly. You didn't play any other tape.
Y'all not except, and they I was wondering why they ain't played no F-offs, but they said that they are gonna play those, but it's only gonna be for the jury. Nobody else will be able to see them but the jury. Cause I'm like, y'all, and even if they doing that, I feel like
but an F-off is consensual. I don't want no more
That's what I
F-off.
said. I just don't understand. And I think with that too, it's gonna be so many people that would be caught up in that.
Here's the thing. You have to assume that the people on that jury don't have the F-offs at their own house, that they don't secretly wish they could have a threesome, that they're not turned on about corn. You got to assume that they think that. Because if y'all say it was kids involved and it was recorded and cameras was rolling, because according to Allie and a couple of other girl, let me according to them, all this stuff happened. Last thing, and then we'll talk about that tomorrow. Of the 200 and something people that group was representing, over half of them have been knocked down already because it wasn't true. The girl that we did the show about, I cannot think of her name, the more brown-skinned girl that said that Jaguar helped her. She was a good person. And she was on there with the fair-skinned girl that was a go-go dancer. Well, the go-go dancer has since done an interview recently, and she apologized. She apologized because I embarrassed my family. I was really drunk and drinking heavily at that time, and I should not have done that. Those things were not true. I was a go-go dancer, and I was promoted to somebody that would interact for pay. And so they switched me from white to wearing an all-black dress for easy access. So yes, I did do that. Guess what she eliminated out of what she said? Kids, knowing that girl in the bathroom, the girl being urinated on, the card, anybody else's name. She said she was sorry. She said the reason why she did it is because she still felt like she can get her fame out of this and something could happen for her. Fame is a dangerous damn drug.
Mm-hmm.
But she admitted it and came back. Why is that not going viral? Because she's still saying that X acts happened and paying for it there. She's still saying that happened. But all the rest that is beyond demonic, for those of us that are not comfortable with any of those things and can't fathom them, why is that not going viral? And that's what makes me feel bad for him and people to come, because you should be in trouble for what you did, not for what you didn't do. And if it truly didn't include kids or anything like that, that's one of the worst things you could put on somebody. I mean, damn, y'all, he had enough that he actually really did, walking around acting like that. Was it because of the drugs? I think so. Power and drugs. It went to your head. And I don't think if this would have happened, he would have ever gotten clean. He might be a whole different person now. That good one that they love
That's why
all the
that he changed his name to Love, because he was
he started being better.
a different person.
And so many other people said when he was good, he was really good. When he wasn't, he wasn't.
Bad, he was bad. Yep.
If that don't mean something from these exact people.
And I think too, with going back to Carisha's, Saucy Santana would have said something.
I'm just saying, certain of these people, they grasping for straws in their career right now. They would easily backdoor a reason to make these things come out, and they're not. So let's take all the stuff off the table that's not true. Stop trying to integrate new people and focus on what people on the stand are actually saying out of their mouth, and take the meat and leave the bones, because not everybody is telling the truth. And it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, facts, hands down, because there was a police report that it was actually something that happened. And the assistant that was there, she got messages, she got proof, all of that these things happen. I only believe that he forgot little things, like I think she said she called him, but he remembered Cassie calling him, or vice versa. Stuff like that can be mixed up, a call or whatever. But I believe that he didn't want to get Cassie in trouble. I believe that Cassie is the one that probably did that shit to the car under. Now that I believe he probably made her do on some "look what you made me do" type ish. And we both gonna be in trouble for this. So if he say something, not only will I get in trouble, you'll get in trouble. Do I believe that kind of stuff? I do. So why wouldn't Cuddy get up there and say everything? Because I believe that is what could have happened. Nobody said that, but it was a partial female fingerprint. And I believe it was her. Because how did she get there so fast when she was supposed to be in New York? But y'all made sure he was out there. I don't know. That's what I think. Tell me what you think below, and we'll be here tomorrow for lunch. And you can listen to Ro every day at 6:00, I believe. She gives a recap. And tomorrow she will have domestic. Fingers crossed. Guess sometimes.
Right.
But I 90% believe the guest is going to show up tomorrow to talk about domestic violence. Her situation is a little bit different, but she can still answer the questions that we have, because sometimes, y'all, domestic violence mean you didn't hit back at all. Sometimes domestic violence mean you eventually got tired and you get to Ike and Tina and you go back and forth. It's still domestic violence, one-sided to me. If the girl starts fighting back, what do you think? If she get to the point where she start fighting back, you think that's still domestic violence? I think so too. Ladies, men, talk to your girls and your sons. Get your kids help. You see things in them from when they're young. Praying it away, yes, but prayer without work is not going to work. Some people need medication. Some people don't have chemical balance, like these kids that kill animals because something is telling them to do it. Oh, this case is going to wear me out. So, Rose, where can we find you?
On Talk to Rose on Wednesday nights, and I've been trying to do a recap every single night, but sometimes I can't. But I'll be there tomorrow.
You'll be there tomorrow. Okay. Well, join us back here on. I think I'll be back on Sunday, and then I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday at lunchtime, so we could shoot the shit and talk on our lunch break. It works for me. Lessons learned. Gotta get better. Something is wrong. But that is it. Like, comment, and subscribe on the way out. And go buy my books on Amazon under Melanin Madam. Thank you and good night. Goodbye.